How's it, guys? Gordel here. This is the National Support Session for ENTP7311 for Assignment 2. It's Monday the 22nd. I have released the marks for Assignment 1. They obviously need still to be uploaded and published and all those other funny things that needs to happen. But yeah, your marks are there. In terms of feedback, I've written feedback where appropriate, but for the rest, I suggest that what you do is you look at the rubric, you look at your mark, and that gives you the feedback on what you did or didn't do, or what you still additionally needed to do. Okay, so for this assignment, for assignment 2, it's due on the 10th of October, so we've got about 3 weeks to go. Just check your PAS for the update. This was, I checked this morning on the PAS, but PAS has changed. Please make sure that you put it in, return it in, and that you do the AI declaration. It's vitally important that if you use AI, you must declare it. If you don't declare it and the detector shows that you've used AI, I'm afraid I have to report you. Guys, and then referencing, you are third-year students, your referencing should be spot on. This assignment, I will show you where there needs to be referencing, but there's not that much referencing that needs to be done. You will hand in one report. So guys, it's tricky like the previous one. Remember, you had to put in a link to YouTube, and thank you, everybody did that perfectly. There's normally people that don't get that right. Everybody did it perfectly. There wasn't a problem with anybody's links. In this case, we're going to do an Annexure A, which we're also going to attach. And you need to very carefully listen to what I say in the next slide about Annexure A and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. 2,000 to 2,500 words for this report. And that's easy. It's not that, it's not tight that you should be comfortable with it. So we've got question 1, which is Annexure A, which it's called Annexure A, but you put it under question 1. That's the first thing you put in. Question 2 introduces the rest of the assignment with question 2.1, 2.2, which I'll deal with, a conclusion, your reference list, and then appendices. And your appendices obviously includes your AI reference or your AI declaration if you've used AI. And there's a couple of places here that you could use AI. Okay, so the first thing is Annexure A. And I'll show you the annexure just now, but what you need to do is you need to the object of this assignment is to say you've made the app. Let's say the app is there. You now have to popularize this app. You now have to link up with people. You need to get people to buy into your app, right? So to do that, LinkedIn is a great place to use. So you must show an understanding of LinkedIn. And for you to demonstrate that, they tell you in the assignment to go create a profile and then do a stack of things. Do not create a profile and do those things on LinkedIn. The reason why I tell you not to do it is because you may one day want to have, okay, firstly, you're going to link up with people and say things and do things in this exercise which are not necessarily true. So you're going to be wasting people's time by linking with them and making as if you're something that you are not. If your app is a real thing and you've done a real app, by all means go for it. But I know from experience that students don't do that, and therefore you should not go onto LinkedIn. Also, what will happen is you'll create this LinkedIn profile, and that'll stuff up your LinkedIn for the rest of your life, right? So, and if you have a LinkedIn currently, and you're then going to go do this stuff on it, it's going to make your LinkedIn look funny. So do not go create a LinkedIn for this. Complete Annexure A only. Right. So firstly, we need an appropriate picture of yourself. You standing with a beer at the braai is not an appropriate picture for business. So, I mean, I could take this picture. Right, I could take a picture here, just take off the headphones, and that'll be fine. That's good enough for a business picture. So think about this as a picture that is going to be used in the business world, that will be circulated about you. And then identify 5 entrepreneurial skills that you have. So, and that's not a list of 5 things. It's a skill and why you believe you have that skill. Sorry. Next up, describe 5 people or organizations who you would have connected with. So go look for 5 people or organizations that are appropriate for you to link up with regarding the app that you created, right? So say, why would you link up with these people? Why do you think the SPCA in the Western Cape is a good person for you to link up with? And then provide the LinkedIn link to their profiles in LinkedIn, right? So go look for them, you search for them in LinkedIn, find them, and then the link to their profile, copy that and put that in Annex A. Then go look for 5 entrepreneurs. And these entrepreneurs should be influential entrepreneurs that are in the field similar to where you are moving in, or simply really good entrepreneurs that you think you can link up to and that you can learn something from. Now, let me tell you now, you linking to Elon Musk. Elon Musk is not going to teach you much, okay? Go look for the real people out there, right? I'm not impressed by big names, but you need to be able to explain to me why you're linking to that person and what value could they add to you. Then you need to, on LinkedIn, find 3 articles on the social issue that you're dealing with, something that deals with your social issue, and give it overview of 250 words. The tempting thing here is to ask one of the AIs to do that. You could do that, but then look at it and rewrite it and make sure it does actually give a proper overview of the article. And whatever you do, declare that in your AI declaration, right? I'll give you a freebie here. If you want to know which one to use, go use something called Notebook LM. Notebook LM is really good at giving you summaries and those type of things. So yeah, then the famous Annex A. So Annex A, I know it's very difficult to see on the screen there, but that's what Annex A looks like. Take that and use that as your template. It's on page 13 of the POE. That is question 1, and you paste this thing in and you fill this out. Guys, don't be fooled by how small those blocks are. You know, you're going to, in the last block, you're going to do 3 articles of 250. That's 750 words, right? You're going to put in the 5 entrepreneurs and tell me why, and all the rest of the things that you need to do. So this is going to become quite a lengthy document. Right, now we move on to the report part of your assignment. So you have a little cover page. Well, actually, the cover page should be right as one before question 1. And while I'm on the topic, many of you put an index in as the second page. That's good. That's fine. But then you number the pages in the index and say question 2 is on page 3. But when I look at the pages, there's no page numbers. Guys, there's no sense in having an index with page numbers if you're not numbering your pages. So please get that right, eh? Okay, so you've got a cover page, question 1, the introduction to the report, and then question 2.1. How will you use the 4 drivers of revenue to generate a greater revenue? Right? And the 4 drivers are customers, frequency, selling process, and price. When you answer this question, the first part of the question, so there's a 750 words roughly that you should be spending on this. The first part of that question, and the first part, I would say 150 to maybe 200 words, would be, what are the 4 drivers? And give me the theoretical background. And when you do theory, please, folks, start with Neck and Murray. Because if you don't start with Neck and Murray, and I've had numerous cases like this, we teach a curriculum. We mark from the curriculum. So if you ask AI, what are the 4 drivers of revenue? It might give you 4 different things. Okay? If you're asking Google to tell you what does customers mean, Google's going to give you a definition that will differ from the Neck and Murray definition. So what you do is you go to Neck and Murray, define those 4 things, customer, frequency, selling process, and price, and then use other sources to back up Neck and Murray. Right? Overall, you'll probably in this assignment use 7 to 10 sources. Okay, overall, the whole assignment. Once you've used 100, 150, 200 words to describe them, the theoretical part is finished. Right? Now we apply customers, frequency, selling process, and price to your app and your social issue. and you explain to me how those drivers will work in your context and how they will drive your app to become popular. Okay, so that's your question 2.1. Question 2.2, what pricing strategy, check figure 9.6, will you use and why? Pricing, not revenue. There's a difference, right? There's a difference between pricing and revenue. And if you're not sure about pricing, I just need to check, but I believe that is the video that will be uploaded also today. So you should have a video on pricing. I'm just quickly going through my textbook. Yeah, if you look at there's a whole stack of pricing strategies. Competition-led, customer-led, loss leader, introductory offer, skimming, psychological pricing, fair pricing, and bundled pricing. So have a look at those. And I can't remember if that's the other video that I'm doing today or if that was in the lesson that I did the other night. But in any case, you have been that has been explained to you. So use those. So select one of those, right? If one doesn't seem, you might want to select two, up to you. How does this strategy, this pricing strategy, increase customer usage? Right? So why will customers use your app more? How will the pricing strategy drive your sales? Right? So there you've got to make it applicable to your app and explain how you're going to use it. Once again, you select the pricing strategy from Neck and Murray. You explain what it is, you get other sources to back it up. You've done the theory, 150 to 250 words. You use 500 words to make this applicable to your app and your social problem. And that's it. So those are the three things that you've got to do. Then you do a conclusion, and then you talk how the social media pricing and revenue ensure that the success of your app, right? 250, 300 words. Make sure your referencing is correct. If you use Grammarly, you must declare it. I know a number of you like to use Grammarly to make it nice, or chat these days. Submit it early to check that what your plagiarism is, if you think there's going to be a problem. This one, I tend to find that plagiarism is not really a problem. AI tends to be a big problem on this one. But yeah. And folks, that's it. As always, please feel free to drop me an email to ask me questions. Thank you to those that have asked questions already. Can I just ask that if you do send me an email, please, in the subject line, put ENTP7311W, because I get a question, sir, on question 2A, must I do X, Y, and Z? I'm not sure what question 2A is because I don't know what subject this is. And I teach several subjects. So now I've got to try to find out what subject is this and so on. So guys, please help me out. Just put in the subject line your subject and then drop me a question and I'm happy to answer them as soon as possible. Okay, guys, thanks very much. Enjoy this and go look at your previous marks, please. Right. Cheers, guys.